Hi, everyone. Penny, are you able to admit people?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool. All right, then I am going to stop sharing my screen and put that away. And I'll let you be in charge. And if you want to, Jenny, you can take the host tools and remove the waiting room now because it's almost time to get started. So I'm so happy to see everybody today. It's great to have you here. All right, everybody, I think we'll go ahead and get started. People might still pop in here and there along the way. So first we'll start with introductions. My name is Bethany Kaufman and I'm the director of Prairie Lands Library Exchange. We're the state's library support organization for Southwest Minnesota. And with me is my wonderful colleague, Jennifer Parkhurst. Jenny's like the tech person. So if you have any problems, you can email Jenny. Or if you have questions about something that like needing someone's email address or whatever, she's going to be putting all of that into the chat. So if you open the chat, she'll drop things in there as we go along the way. And we are so lucky today to have our two guests. We have Carrie Dose from Jackson County Library and Teresa Niestevold from the Murray County Public Schools. Wanted to make sure I said it right. So Murray County Public Schools. Today's grant is the author grant. And this grant is one that is available all year long. So starting with this month, October, you have a full year of 12 months to apply for the grant, as long as you have everything done within 90 days of your receipt of your acceptance email. That's our one kind of condition. We're really grateful that the board let us try this new strategy this year of having people able to apply for grants that are throughout the year, because they might have a time that only works. And if we don't offer the grant at that time of the year, it can be a challenge, especially for people who want to work together, like this grant encourages. Schools and public libraries certainly have very different busy times of the year and very different schedules. So we're hoping that 12 months to apply for the author grant is going to make it easier for all of you to be able to figure out a collaboration and come up with a plan and then get something started this year with an author visit to your community. So the grant is this year, it's very clear the board wants us to help public libraries and schools partner together in communities. But that doesn't mean you have to partner directly with the public school that is like across the street from you. If there's a high school, if the high school's in a neighboring community and you have an opportunity to bring in a speaker that would be appropriate for our high school, we encourage you to figure that out. The main goal of the grant, and according to the governing board, is to make sure you have a chance to build relationships and to build connections that might encourage people who've never been to the public library to visit the public library, and for people to become aware of the important role that school libraries play in all of our communities in Southwest Minnesota. The grant is for $1,000, and we know that's, for some authors, that's not enough. But we hope that it will be a really good start, and that by working together, you can do some additional fundraising or work with a school district that might have some money to make something like this happen, to make it possible. All right, to get this done in 15 minutes or less, I'm going to stop there. And I'm going to have you go ahead and meet our two guests today. So I'm going to get us started. And my speakers that I have on my list is Teresa first. And Teresa, I'll let you introduce yourself further and tell a little bit about who you are and what you did with the grant.
Okay. You can hear me all right?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. So this is my 17th year working in the libraries for the Murray County Central Schools. I've used the grant, I believe, well, two or three times, not in consecutive years, but once a few years ago, we invited an author who's actually a teacher, a junior high school teacher from St. Paul. And she came and spoke to middle school students at school, and then she writes historical fiction, and then she had a program for adults with the through the public library. I can see where that also would have worked with the historical society. So that's kind of a nice connection too. I think we could have gone a couple different ways. Um, Last year we invited Douglas Wood, um, and that was really successful. He gave three 30-minute programs to our K-6 students at school during the day. And then he had a program and for the that the public library sponsored after school in the afternoon. And that one was fun. Actually, our school library space at the high school was larger than any space that the public library had. So we invited people from the community to come to the school, which was a nice, yeah, that was nice to get those people into our school building too. And Douglas Wood would just work so well because, he's written children's books and adult books. He's a musician, poet. He was just so multifaceted that it felt like we could really tick a lot of boxes with him. His fee was $1,000, so the grant covered his fee entirely. And then the public library, all we had left was mileage and housing and meals. And Douglas had a connection down in our area, a acquaintance who really wanted to host him overnight. So we didn't even have any lodging, which was a lodging expense, which was really nice. That saved us some money too. That had never happened before. But I think what works well, I worked with the Slayton Public Library. And I think what we have found, in the probably two or three that we've done is sometimes it's tricky to find an author who is in can can meet the needs of the school and the public. And one year we had an author who was really so focused on the younger children that the public librarian said, I'm not sure it was worth our time and money. Um, I think if it was someone that, if you could market it to homeschool families or preschoolers or, there might be a way. But anyway, sometimes it does get a little tricky. Douglas Wood was just such a great choice for like I said, for really meeting multi-generational. So it worked really well. And I've only had positive experiences working with the public library. A few emails. It's not complicated. It's a few emails. We just kind of, delegate the work. You cover this part, I'll cover that part. Send in the application. That's always, your office, Bethany and Jenny, respond so quickly and make it as easy as possible. We submit some receipts and are reimbursed, and it just is a very smooth process.
Is there anything you didn't go well that you would want to let people know about
You
other
know,
than the age level?
Yeah, I think that would
Yeah.
that would probably be the only thing. And
Mhm.
and I have a built-in audience at school, but the public library struggled with their marketing and that librarian, that was a former librarian for us, and she just didn't think it was worth her time and money. So I think it's more a matter of just, scheduling the right person to come in and, figuring out, well, what does the public library want? But I also think, working with a historical society
Yep.
would be a really great option too with their libraries. Um, there would be a lot of good choices through them too.
Yep. Great idea. Thank you, Teresa.
You're welcome.
All right, Carrie, we're going to turn it over to you and you can introduce yourself and tell a little bit more about what you did.
Hey, thank you. I am Carrie Dose. I'm the director of the Jackson County Library System. The Jackson County actually has three library locations. We have our library in Jackson, we have a library in Lakefield, and we also have a library in Heron Lake. So, one thing we pride ourselves in is we offer programming, pretty much the same programming at each library location. Well, that's getting to be a little bit more challenging with budget cuts and things. It's just a statement to how grateful we are for the grants that we receive through Prairie Lands. What we did then is the Jackson County Library System teamed up together and we hosted author, historian, storyteller Doug Ullman at our local coffee shop in Jackson. Initially, we were hoping to do the coffee shop in Lakefield, but it just did not work out with that, with their schedule. So we decided to try it in Smoke and Java, which is located on Main Street here in Jackson. Doug's program was titled Uncovering and Saving History, and it covered his journey as he explores relics and history using a metal detector and camera. He respectfully recovers artifacts that connect us to the past, and he shared his experiences and photos and stories, bringing local history to life. If none of you have had Doug Ullman, I highly recommend him. He is just an amazing storyteller. Um, this is the first time we have held an event at the local coffee shop. When we are always looking at trying to do more outreach within our communities and teaming up with local businesses and organizations. So, it was nice. It was fun. The doors opened at 6. The presentation started at 6:30, and then food and drink were available to purchase for those that wanted to. And actually, quite a few of them did purchase items from the coffee shop. The coffee shop owner, we talked a little bit about her, billing us a small fee for using the facility. She told me she was going to do that, but I have yet to see that. So, yeah, that was kind of nice. So, where did we get the idea? Like I said, we're always looking for new program ideas and new ways to get out into the community. We love to do outreach and to collaborate with the local businesses and organizations. Of course, we see many ideas through Facebook, through the different library groups and librarian groups. And this is one that we came up with when we found out Doug was going to already be in the area. And we thought, you know what, let's just do it. You talk and talk about it. And then we finally decided, well, let's do it. This is the time. So what went well? It was great to see the coffee shop full of people that we don't always see at our programs here at the library. We had people coming from surrounding communities. Doug has presented at the library before and also presents at our county fair. So there are many people in this area that are familiar with him. But it was just fun to see, have him in the different environment. It's always a little bit of a challenge to find out, well, how are we going to set up? Because it's not a huge space. You always worried a little bit about, are we going to have enough room? But everything went well, and it was fun to listen to people that came early, just sit and talk. And Doug himself is very much a talker. So when he got done setting up prior to our start time, he was socializing with people as well. What would we do differently? I don't know. I think it all went well. It's like I said, it's always a challenge to figure out how to set up the room itself. We maybe would have adjusted that a little bit. Again, the other thing that's always a challenge is just getting word out to people. We had somebody, show up late, even though we had everything out there. She just thought, the time was different. So how much money did we spend? The total program cost was $960. Doug's fee was $700. And then we spent $260 on advertisements. We put it in our local newspapers. And then we also tried Facebook ads, which is something new we're playing around with. So what did patrons say about the events program? We heard very positive feedback. They did enjoy being at the coffee shop. Some ask, why? Why are you doing the coffee shop? So then that opens up a whole nother conversation to have with them as to why we need to outreach and do different things in our community. And then I also heard very positive feedback from Doug. I mean, nobody's ever disappointed. Program ended, he always goes overtime. You're there another half hour because he's talking with with people that attended. So it was a very interesting program too, by the way. I just want to say what Teresa, mentioned, the grant process is just so easy, and we're so thankful for the opportunity that Prairie Lands offers us. We, much of what we do and what we're able to do above and beyond budget is just so nice and very much appreciated. We won't be able to do this because we just don't have the budget, to do it. So I know our patrons appreciate it.